and welcome to the Connect Live show. I'm Dawn Peters. Do you go through life and think, I really could do with some advice, some mentoring, some coaching? I'm sure we all do, whether we're in business or just in life itself. But who do you choose to help you? Do you choose a coach, a business coach, a life coach, or a life strategist? Well, here today we have Robin Meyers, a life strategist with Navigate and Empower. She can tell us all about the difference. Welcome, Robin.
Hi, Dawn.
Hi. So what is the difference between a life strategist and a life coach?
You know, the way I see it is I strategically coach you. That's the difference. I did originally start as a life coach, but I was doing all these elements and didn't know what to name myself, because I dealt with transitions of life and business and personal and resiliency and, empowerment, all these different labels. But what I really do is I strategize with you to maneuver life.
Maneuver
good, life. Yeah. So I label it as that I strategically coach you.
And so what is your typical audience? Who do you work best with?
My typical audience are women entrepreneurs, although I do work with all people. But right. I really enjoy working with women, maybe because I'm one of them, but just because of all the things that women deal with, the balance of life and home, if they're married, if they're going through divorce, all those other elements really bring another layer to them. So they really are always in transition.
Yes, I think women are, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
And so you've pinpointed a couple. Can you talk about some other issues that perhaps women are facing as they go through life that really it would benefit them to reach out for help from somebody like yourself?
Every day, honestly, women go through always putting everybody else first. I mean, we're natural, caregivers. And so typically what we do is we always reach out and help and put ourselves last and our needs last. And so what we need to remember is that we really need a little self-care in there as well. And when we serve ourselves, and there's nothing wrong with that, first of all, and there's no guilt to that, but then we show up better for everybody else. We show up better in our personal life. We show up better in our business life. We're just much stronger then because we're taken care of.
Right.
And we're not clouded,
Yes. And as you help women or people maneuver through life, what can they be thinking about for the approach they need to be taking because we're so overwhelmed, we're so busy, we're going 100 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. What's some pieces of advice you could give to them to sort of stop and start to take a little more control?
Well, I start everybody on kind of what is your mindset and how to change that mindset, and there's certain tools around that. Mindset's a very broad term nowadays, but it is being mindful of your time and what you do. So you have to build in your own individual time it doesn't matter what you're doing. You could be single, you could be married, with children, without. You need your time every day for yourself, and that's time to think of what you love to do and find time to do something that you're passionate about outside of the business world. But you need your own unique time, that you never lose sight of who you are, that you always have your identity, and that you keep your voice, and you speak loud and clear.
Right. And being a strategist, I know you've spoken about, so if you'd like to speak to again, how you start somebody off with some sort of assessment that's very strategic.
It is. It's called Predicative Index, and it's kind of like, I think of it as like a personal disc. As a business owner, you probably have done DISC. And it's similar, but it's actually easier to take and to understand. It's really how you see yourself, based on adjectives, how you view yourself in categories of, are you an introvert or an extrovert? What is your follow through like on tasks? I'm trying to think of the other categories. It's all about your character analysis. So the first part really is how you see yourself, and the second part is how you think others see you. It's a great tool and it's really within 10 minutes. But it's a great tool because it allows you to see your strengths and allows you to realize what you're thinking others think of you. But if you're working with teams or you're looking to build a team or even really your own personal family life, sometimes we get in conflict with people, but it's not necessarily because we're just angry. We're just not, they don't think the way we think.
Right.
And when you have that kind of tool behind you, it puts things in perspective.
Yes, absolutely. And as you maneuver people, obviously, through these areas of their lives, you know, it's a journey. It's it's not a beginning and an end.
It's a constant journey.
Yeah. So when you work with people, is there a certain length of time you work with them and then move to sort of another stage? Or how does that work?
I work through all kinds of exercises and tools. You know, my background is education, so having that, I do a lot of my own curriculum as well. So no one is exactly the same. The theme is similar, but no one's exactly the same. But so I have lots of things to pick and choose from. But, you know, changing your mindset is one, and then we kind of move on to kind of that organizational piece. And it depends how you like to work, but I have all kinds of tools. For example, I'm very into what's called a bullet journal, where you really almost customize your own type of journal. You know, you kind of put your personal life and your business life into almost a notebook, but you really get very methodical in showing what your tasks are and what your dailies are and what your goals are. So you always have something to look for instead of just the date, the calendar, and the planner and things like that.
Fantastic. Wow, I know I could talk to you about this for hours. If you've piqued people's interest of wanting to work with you and connect with you, how do they do that?
Well, you can email me. My email is robin@navigate-empower.com. You're free to call me at 703-615-2439, or just go to my website, which is www.navigate-empower.com, and you can contact me through that as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing everything about your tools and your story today.
Thank you, Dawn.
Thanks. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to be a guest on the show, please go to connectionhub.biz.